The teacher was walking through the fields one day, and it was around harvest, and all the crops were there waiting to be harvested in. And the people who followed him, as they were walking along, they were picking heads off the grain and breaking off the crusty outer stuff and eating the nice goodness in the middle, having a wee snack. The thing was, it was a Sabbath, a day of rest where you weren't meant to do any work at all. Everyone was to have the day off to worship God. And when they went out, as they got to the town, the morality police cornered them. Now, the morality police, they were a big faction. They were totally linked in with the state, and they could whip up a mob, and that mob could be the death of people. So it was no small thing to come up against the morality police. And they were complaining that the followers of the teacher couldn't be true followers, because, well, true followers of God at least, because they were working on a Sabbath, like taking the crusty bits off and having a wee snack. So the teacher turned on them and let rip. What? You call yourself teachers of the law? You're bringing people up for this, and you use the law for far, far worse things. All your legal niceties that mean if somebody dedicates something to God, they don't need to pay taxes on it. Taxes that would go to feeding people who are starving. You wear the right clothes, you say the right things, you make sure everybody else does. But do you, in your heart, actually do any of these things? Nah. Do you actually do any of the things that are the motivation behind the law? It's not what you wear, it's not what you eat. That's not the problem. It's who you are at the core, and that comes out in your actions, and that shows whether you're right with God, whether you're clean or not. But mostly, the teacher saved his harshest words for those who claimed to be followers of God. For everyone, including them, if they had ears to listen. He had a more hopeful story. So it said another time when he was walking through the fields, and maybe it was a beautiful sunny day, he was looking around, and do you ever feel good just in places, like an emotionally true feeling of goodness? He's looking around, and maybe he was thinking back to that story, and he was wondering how it is people get that way. And he looked around and he said, why do you worry about what you're going to eat or what you're going to wear? Look around you. The whole of the earth is full of beauty and goodness. If you're worried about clothes, have you seen what the flowers look like? They're ablaze with colour. They change every season. They move to track the sun. God provides that. They don't spin or weave. Think about sparrows and swallows. The birds, like they blow away in the wind, but do they worry about saving up storehouses full of food? No, God provides for them. Look around, open your eyes, see the good things that are there. And if you do that, then you can be aware of that lightness in your soul. Your eyes, your senses, they are windows to your soul. And if you focus on the good things, then it's like a light in your mind. And that light can drive out all of the fear and the scare and the darkness. It doesn't mean that you should ignore the bad things. That would be daft. You'd be living in la la land, la 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 la. Always looking on the bright side of life doesn't mean ignoring the hideous evils that are going on. But it does mean that you don't become like the morality police. Rather than getting ground down by fear, uncertainty, so that you retreat into yourself and just hold on to what little things you have. You fill your mind with light, and you can look and expect to see good things. And it's a thing of practice. Like your feed. If you keep liking things that are bad for you, then you'll see more things that are bad for you. If you control your feed and focus on the things that you find genuinely good and interesting, then it can be a good thing to have a smartphone. If at the end of the day you look back over your day and you think of the good things that have happened, then they can become like a diet, a good healthy diet that means that your mind gets better at noticing good things. So Don't be ground down. Fill your mind with light, and then you can rage against the morality police, against those who would grind you down, but do it with a peace and a calm rather than a bitter anger.